Hi, and welcome back to the listening window. Today's story is called I Went on a Blind Date and Disappeared for 3 days. This story is written specially for your English listening and speaking practice. I'll tell it in clear, natural English with realistic pacing and everyday phrases. You can also download the full script, vocabulary list, quiz with answers, and a bonus writing prompt. Just click the link in the description below. Now, sit back, relax, and let's begin. IT started with a text message. Hey, Emma. I know someone perfect for you. Trust me. He's sweet, funny, and not a weirdo. It was from my friend Claire. She had been trying to set me up on a blind date for months. I hesitated. Blind dates weren't really my thing. Meeting a total stranger over coffee? Awkward. But I had to admit, lately life had felt a little too quiet. Same job, same tiny apartment, same solo dinners with takeout sushi. Maybe it was time to shake things up a little. I texted back, fine. But if he's weird, you owe me pizza for a month. Claire sent a laughing emoji and a thumbs up, and just like that, it was set. We agreed to meet at a cozy little cafe downtown. The place was small, with fairy lights strung across the ceiling and the smell of fresh coffee in the air. Perfect for a first meeting. Public, safe, and relaxed. I arrived a few minutes early, nerves buzzing. I wore my favorite blue dress, not too fancy, not too casual, and tried to act like it was no big deal. Just coffee. Just a conversation, I told myself. I found a small table by the window and ordered a cappuccino. 5 minutes later, he walked in. Tall. Dark hair. Kind eyes, wearing a navy sweater and jeans. He spotted me right away and smiled. Emma. He asked, and I nodded. I'm Jake. We shook hands awkwardly and laughed at how formal it felt. From the very first moment, it was easy, and oh, weird silences. And oh, awkward small talk. We talked about everything: books, movies, favorite foods, even our embarrassing childhood stories. He had a warm, gentle way of listening that made me feel completely at ease. And when he laughed, it was this deep, genuine sound that made me smile without even trying. After 2 hours, we didn't want to leave. He suggested a walk by the river. I hesitated for half a second, but it was still daylight. The cafe was in a busy area, and honestly, I didn't want the evening to end either. So I said yes. The river walk was beautiful. The sun was setting, casting golden light across the water. Families were out with kids and dogs. Couples strolled hand in hand. Jake and I kept talking, falling into an easy rhythm. When we reached the old stone bridge, he suggested we sit for a while. We found a bench overlooking the river. He pulled a small paper bag from his backpack. Surprise, he said, grinning. Inside were 2 pastries, fresh from the cafe, and a tiny bottle of sparkling water. I figured you might be hungry again, he said. I laughed and accepted the pastry gratefully. Maybe this was what meeting the right person felt like. Natural, simple, right. After we finished eating, the sky grew darker. I checked my phone, 8:45 p.m. I should probably get going soon, I said. He nodded. I'll walk you back. We started down the path toward the street. That's when it happened. I remember a sudden sharp smell like chemicals. I remember feeling dizzy. Unsteadied, I remember Jake's voice saying, "Just breathe. It's okay." And then, nothing. Blackness. When I woke up, I was lying on a soft bed. The room was dimly lit. The air smelled of old wood and dust. My head throbbed. My mouth was dry. Panic surged through me. Where was I? I tried to sit up, but my body felt heavy and slow. Then the door opened. It was Jake. But something was different. His kind smile was gone. His eyes were cold, distant. "You're awake?" he said calmly, setting down a tray of food. "Where am I?" I croaked, but he ignored the question. "You need to eat something. You'll feel better." I shook my head, heart pounding. This couldn't be happening. Over the next few hours, I tried everything. Begging, pleading, screaming, but no one came. The windows were boarded up. The door was locked from the outside. Jake visited twice a day, bringing food and speaking in soft, soothing tones, as if nothing was wrong to us, if we were just spending a nice weekend together. I realized quickly, fighting him wasn't going to work. I needed a plan. I needed to stay calm. And I needed to find a way out. The second night, he forgot to lock the small bathroom attached to the room. It wasn't much, just a sink, toilet, and a tiny window high on the wall. But it was enough. When he brought dinner, I faked being sick. I moaned, groaned, collapsed dramatically on the floor. Jake panicked. He rushed into the bathroom to get water, leaving the main door wide open behind him. Adrenaline kicked in. I ran. The hallway was narrow and dark. I stumbled through it blindly, heart hammering. I could hear Jake shouting behind me. I pushed through a door at the end of the hall, and suddenly I was outside. Fresh air, night sky, freedom. I ran into the woods, not daring to look back. Branches scratched my arms and legs, but I didn't stop. Finally, after what felt like hours, I stumbled onto a road. A car came around the bend. I waved my arms frantically. The car screeched to a stop. A woman rolled down the window, eyes wide. "Help me." I gasped. The police found Jake the next morning, still searching the woods for me. Turns out he wasn't even Jake. His real name was Caleb Morris, a man with a long history of stalking and abduction. He had used a fake name, fake profile, fake everything. I had trusted my friend Claire, and Claire had trusted the friend of a friend who had recommended Jake. And no one had realized, and no one had known. It took me a long time to heal. For months, I jumped every time the doorbell rang. I couldn't go on dates. Couldn't even sit in a cafe without looking over my shoulder. But slowly, with therapy, friends, and family, I rebuilt my sense of safety. Today, I'm stronger, wiser, and I trust my instincts like my life depends on it, because sometimes it does. Thank you for listening to I Went on a Blind Date and Disappeared for 3 days. This story was created for your English listening and speaking practice. It uses real-life emotional storytelling, natural English, and a suspenseful twist to help you improve faster. Don't forget, you can download the full learning pack, including the script, vocabulary list, quiz, and writing prompt. Just click the link in the description. speech balloon and tell me in the comments. Would you ever go on a blind date? Why or why not? See you next time on the listening window.